बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय
तेरी मेर दा बोलना तुझे आगे अरदास गुरु गुरु वाहे गुरु गुरु नानक आद गुरे नमः जुगाद गुरे नमः सत गुरे नमः श्री गुरु वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। सिख धर्म in its form as a science and as an art, and it's very amazing that it has its roots and is nurturing basically in the Western Hemisphere. I have no traditional conflict, but fundamentally the research reads this way. Today we are celebrating Sri Guru Granth's Guru Gati Day. In other words, we are celebrating the Guru Gati Day of the Shabad Guru. Word Shabad is Shabad. Shah means machoism, ego, when I is bigger than thou. That's Shah. Shah means provoking, conflicting. When a person just go take non-reality as a reality and threats you and expands himself and boasting, that's called Shah. Boosting and boasting is called Shah. Bad means when you chop off the neck of something, it's called Bad. Cut it. And from there the word comes Badi. Badi means bad deeds. What is not morally, ethically, spiritually right is called Badi. But it comes from Bad. That means Badi is that which kills human faculty and his journey in the life as a human. It makes him absolutely painfully useless. If you take an animal and do it in a Muslim way, to cut his neck slowly and recite the word of God on it, and just magnify that scene for a minute, it's called kosher. Kosher killing is a very qualified killing. It takes the animal, put him down, knock him down, and calm him down, beat him up, whatever you do. And then you take a knife and go slowly reciting the name of Allah or God or scriptures and so slowly you cut the artery and bleed the animal to death. And that pain, they say, is beyond any conception and exception to be tolerated. And you call it halal, or you call it kosher, or you call it bad. From there the word came badi. Badi means misfortune. And it's one of the sweetest misfortune ever understood, realized by a man. From that word you can understand Shabad means something which kosherizes the man's destiny to God. The Shabad is that cuts down that badi, that bad luck. Shabad Guru. Guru is a word. Gor is called grave. Grave is called Gor. Grave. Ru means which bring light even into the grave. And the word Ru become Ru. Ru means soul. So I'm trying to tell you the nad, the sound, elementary sound from where this word came to the man. Shabad Guru, we always call. And in the Bible, in the beginning there was a word was with God and word was God. In Japji of the Nanak, Asankhnao, Sankhthao, Gam Gam, Sankhlo, that body explains the whole thing. We are celebrating the Shabad Guru. What it actually means? It means Naam. It means perpetual experience of happiness. It means ecstasy. It means Anand. It means Sat Chit Anand. It means a lot of things. But it's not practiced. It is not understood rightly. Naam means noun. Noun means personal identity. My personal identities bows to Shabad Guru. It's a very simple human thing. I bow that my words bring light to me and to my surrounding. Even I am myself in a graveyard. I am in a grave. What ecstasy means other than that? This is practical, a performa profile of an ecstasy. That doesn't matter what is wrong with you. It is immaterial. But when you speak, it should be heavenly. It should be authentic. When you teach, it should be penetrating, cutthroat, straight truth. It is what it is. Therefore, Shabad Guru means we are free from man's opinion, worship, or experience, or whatever you want to call it. If we are free from man's worship, then what we are worshipping? Then we are worshipping ourselves as a man. A Shabad Guru and the domain only practically means that you worship yourself by yourself. Be yourself, worship yourself by yourself. That's exactly what Shabad Guru means. If you want to know what it practically means, it practically means you read the Guru, you read the Gurbani, you understand, you preach, you translate, you do everything. But there's a one thing you have to do, and that is you have to be you. And your every Shabad, which is the Akashic record when spoken, matters. There's a one scriptural thing which I'll let you know. This is how it goes. Oh man, in those days, man included woman. These days there's a difficulty. But I have to translate exactly as it is. Oh man, speak not. Silence is God. When thou speaks in you, thou also writes in heavens for your tomorrow, and today on your forehead. And that is what karma is. Now you well understand, whatever you say, And saying is not what you speak through the tongue only. You speak through thoughts also. That's the real stuff. You speak through your thoughts. And thoughts are on which you have no control. Intellect releases 1,000 thoughts per wink of the eye. That's the law of life. Whenever it reduces, jarai the joban harya. Whenever the release of the intellect thought per 1,000 per wink of the eye reduces itself 800, 700, you are old. Doesn't matter your age is 20-year-old. That is jar. Jar means then there's a break, there's a gorge, there's a crack. You are young by the intellect. You are happy by the intelligence. And you are graceful by the consciousness. Just remember it for reference. And you are in misery because of your fear. And you are blind in your life because of your ego. When you are an ego, you will exist, but you shall not be in a position to compute your intelligence or your tomorrow. And you will do mistakes. Then earth will be more to you than heavens. You will not be in a position to give the balance. It doesn't matter who you are. Your life will be nothing full of tragedy and pain. And will go from event to event. If you don't believe me, test your best friend on the matter of earth, territory, and conception. You'll find what comes out of it. Talk to somebody about heavens and ecstasy for centuries. It will go all right. That's why spiritual people, in their lecture, always talk heavens and yonder lands. They do not talk when you are hit on the left cheek, what you should do. Only one man talked, when you are hit on the left cheek, turn your right to get hit again. He was right in the Piscean age. Age of Aquarius is when somebody hit on your right cheek, left cheek, whatever, tear up of the right cheek so he may not hit anybody again. Nail him down, rivet it. That is what Miri Piri means. That is what saint and soldier means. Take it on the left cheek. Be a saint. Take it on the left cheek. Be a saint. But the man should not have right cheek ever again. Doesn't matter which surgeon he goes to. So that the whole world may know he did hit somebody on the left cheek. And that principle is saint and a soldier. Don't take it easy. Oh, we are saints and soldiers. I'm giving you the practical conception of it. Miri and Piri. Piri means be divine, be a sage, be a saint, be wonderful. But Miri means be an imperial justice. Do justice. And that justice is justice when you are to judge against yourself. If you are into judgment, judge yourself first before you judge anybody. Judge. You are not. Thousands of years you have been told not to judge. You don't stop. You're not going to stop today. Forget it. So long there is an earth in your element, you will judge. But judge yourself. First, put yourself in another person's position and judge. And then act. And then judge the other person. That's also law of Miri and Piri. Then it's a dharma of Shastra and Shastra. It's dharma of wisdom and self-defense. is a martial an art. It's not one word, martial art. It's martial. It's when one falls, 10 will take the place. That's martial. It flows. It has no discontinuity. It continues. Actually, Sikh Dharma is nothing but learning maturity and living by the experience of your own maturity. Rest is all. If somebody says, this person is this person is that. No. Every person is by its own right, achieves its own maturity and lives by the strength and experience of that maturity, and that's all it is. I was discussing with somebody today, and I said, don't take risks with this guy. Why, sir? I say, he comes from parents which were over-possessive and fanatics. So automatically in his a situation is to revolt. It's not that he's a rebel, not that he wants to revolt, but this man has a tendency, included it in himself. I said, this is a package deal. So you got to watch when this guy is going to pull the rug under. Are you sure it will happen? I say, are you sure you're listening to me? Who's sure who? You are saying, are you sure it will happen? I am saying, are you sure you are listening to me or you are hearing some radio? I called somebody mother that day. I said, how is it? She said, what you said. I said, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. Because 7 years and 11 years, that is where child take the route. And on 11 years route, he matures himself in 18 years. That is his natal base on which a native moves. Natal base to be changed by the yoga of awareness or by Raj Yoga was needed, wanted, or Shabad Yoga, because human brain has a stem. And stem is the fundamental base. Believe me or not, 1,000 years from now, they're going to grab about this, that Yogi Bhajan gave a lecture in 1992, and he said so. I yesterday said, to Inquisition, this guy who said the word is round was wrong. First time in 400 years they have agreed to that. Galileo, poor guy, is now honored by Pope himself. He said, though the priest did not have bad intention to hang him upside down, and I'll say, though the Romans have no idea to put Jesus on the Christ, so he forgave the Romans today because he sits in the Rome himself. But similarly, the entire human brain is based on the 3 layers of the stem, which science is going to find in 1,000 years, what I'm talking today. Not today. It's none of their business. And you have 7 layers of the neurons inter-exchange and plating. And you have 14 layers of action. Your frontal lobe is the master reserve power which can surmount everything. But to remove the arrogance and the ignorance to get to the wisdom, you have to go to a process in which you can rotate the fixation of the stem bottom to move the frontal lobe. So you cannot, like a record, you cannot change a neuron pattern, but you can reprint it. Every car under the econ car can be restored back to its originality, though it's a costly process. But some people have done it. They are called sages, swamis, yogis, saints. They reprint their own fortune on their own forehead, which is the screen of the frontal lobe. If I'm technically right, which I am, but I'm leaving the word if, because that way you will understand me better. It will not bore you to have exact words, because being confused and being intellectual is the basic element of a human. And intellectuals are not intelligent, because intellectual can talk, can speak, can visualize, can know, but cannot perform. Like you can choreograph a dance, but you don't have legs, you can't dance. So intellectuals are legless dancers. And they are handless carpenters. And their headless wisdom. Do you know intellectual is so wrapped up into an intellectualist that the guy doesn't know what he's saying? If you get to these rappers and just ask them to repeat something, you'll be shocked. And they're going to say, what? You break my continuity. And they normally are found in coffee houses. They drink coffee and talk a lot till every newspaper shuts down. And that's why coffee is very popular drink. It charges you up. Leaves you nothing in your nerves, but for the moment, it does serve you. Similarly, you understand this world and planetary situation, you are afraid of your own wisdom. Wisdom means commitment. Wisdom means responsibility. Wisdom means discipline. Wisdom means receiving people and sharing people. Wisdom means everything. Wisdom also means whether you exist or not, what is required to be done has to be done. It's a duty. Once in our Second World War, we were fighting the biggest ship armada of Japan. And it got located by just a fluke. Somebody berserked out and he found it out. They calculated their naval strength. And they found out they are no match to it. Chances are remote. You know what the commander said? He said, we do not command our day. These are his words. If we do not command our day today, nobody shall command it tomorrow for us. If we do not command our day today, nobody shall command tomorrow for us. And this is called wisdom. They fought a battle. They rose with heavy casualties, losses, but the victory was perfect. Because the enemy never expected this handful of people can take that jump and lead and be on it. But there was a call of duty. Wisdom makes you fulfill call of duty. Wisdom, what you work in life for? What do you work for? Status? There's not a one person who doesn't work for his status. You all work for status. You all work for having a state. You all want to make a statement. Three things in a human are commonly known and they can never not exist. I have told that story many times. Once a group of officers, I was showing them the Golden Temple and we explained to them and they were very happy. In the end of Parikrama, when we leave, we found a beautiful sadhu, sannyasi, who had a beautiful this cheetah, this skin of around, which has spotted thing. They call him cheetah? Yeah. He looked pretty to me. I don't know. It looked pretty to them. And they requested me, they said, sir, can we have a picture with this gentleman just as a memory to visit the Golden Temple? And I said, well, I'll request. So I requested him, and he agreed very politely, and he said, thank you very much. So when we were all 25 officers standing, and he was with us, and we were standing on the prakarma according to our heights and everything. He was in the center, and the cameraman was ready to go. He said, "Stop!" And I just shook off. I said, "What happened?" I said, "Sir, he has to click the button," and he said, no, I'm not. I'm asking him, "Stop. Let me take care of the skin, the wrinkles." And he stretched his skin on his body. I laughed, I cracked up, I fell on the floor. I said, "This man who has left the whole world." But that was a moment of making a statement. I didn't want wrinkles. The man has walked years and years in that skin, and he has left the whole universe. But that was a moment of statement. That was a moment of his status, and that was a moment of his state. And after it finished, he turned to me. He said, "You come to Gurdwara regularly?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Give me a copy." I said, I'll deliver it to you tonight." As I'm laughing today, whole day I laughed. So long man will live, and his three gunas will live, Rajas, Tamas and Sattvic, he will have the urge. That's the purpose of life, actually. No denial about it. You will have a status, you will have a statement, and you will have a state. That's the purpose of life. And that is what wisdom makes you to come through. That is what wisdom is. That domain, that dominion which you want to rule, you apply the law of faculty of actuality, not of imagination. If you apply anywhere the imagination, this will happen, this. No, you have to have statistics, strategy, and statement. These are the practical life which is taught basically in Sikh Dharma, if you really want to understand. And that's what Shabad Guru is. Shabad Guru explain the statement of the soul, strategy of the human, and state of mind. If I have not surprised you. That's what Sikh Dharma is all about. The concept of the Shabad Guru is made in a very particular way. It's made in a very scientific way, and it is very arty. Every Shabad has a sound, and that sound directs not the intelligence, the intellect. It's amazing. People do not understand Gurbani. They don't understand Gur Shabad. They are far away from it. They are living in a desert and talking about rainforest. That's what my experience is with Sikh Dharma and is theologians. They do not understand what Gurbani means. They want to translate it. They want to understand it. They want to read it. Now, to a blind man who has to put his fingers on the book to read it, tell him, translate it. Analyze it. Take each, that knot, what they call that thing up. That's how it is, isn't it? Yeah, braille, whatever it is. I mean, it's a type stuff, and all he does it with a touch, and he reads those touches. Now tell him, each word you read, count the touches. No, he will take a century to read one word. Why don't you ask that blind man to put his fingers, and first in each letter, you count the knots, the up knots, and then read the word. He'll throw the book at your face, though he's blind. The process to change a man out of his graveyard and to bring him to light is to rotate the stem of the brain which controls the vibratory continuous process of the intellect. And intellect gives you a thought on which intelligence is developed and wisdom contains it and your human efforts fulfills it. That's how the process is. It is not something we don't know. So what happens when you read Gurbani and pronounces right? You can change your whole thing if you want to change. You might be asking, what are we doing here? Because you have been trained by religion for 2,000 or over years to worship a man. And in Nanak's time also, up to Guru Gobind Rai, you were initiated by the right thumb. That mean Agya Chakra, that mean pituitary, which is represented in the center of the right foot. Positive and left foot negative. Toe. And that thing you had to put that toe, right foot, into the water and initiated. That water was given to the disciple and they were initiated. Guru Gobind Rai changed it to the double-edged sword, to the steel. Because man's son was to become steel son. They wanted stainless steel imprint forever. That's why after that, history could produce Sikhs which were deathless, fearless. They have no vengeance in the enemy. When the war was in the evening over and it was time to collect the dead body and take care of the wounded, they will make the nagara, they will make the sound and say, Langar is served. If anybody on the enemy side will cry, they'll go pick him up, heal him up, give him the food first, and then reach him back to the enemy lines, which enemy couldn't do. War was a duty of the Kshatriya, but grace of the saint was there. And that power came from the Shabad Guru. That power came from the Bani, because Bani is Bani. Is a strength of the knee, is a strength of the inner soul. Knee. When we call a girl, hey, knee, idara, knee. Knee is a personal word when you call the in self of the person. The word is bana, bani. Na means what is outside, what you declare to other side. That is not me, this is me. So that's why we have got bana, bani, and we have seva, selfless service, which gives us friendship, territory, jurisdiction forever. Bana, bani, seva, simran, samaran, on which we are willing to die and beyond death. That's what we believe. That's called Ishta. Who has Ishta has no Nashta. Nashta means destruction. Who has Ishta has no Nashta. Nothing can destroy that person. I'm trying to tell you though it may be boring to you, but I'm telling you, I'm boring in you. Let us put it that way. What Shabad Guru actually means, don't be foolish and don't go after these theologians. They'll totally destroy you. Because they are self-destroyed themselves. They do it for money, they do it for living, They have to tell you what suits you. Preachers are never teachers. And a teacher and student relationship between a stone and a chisel and a hammer. And it does create a spark. Don't they say when you meet your teacher, it creates a spark? That's the spark. And I tell you how big spark it creates. Once a very royal king asked his Grand Vizier, Grand Vizier, I have everything. He said, yes, your lordship, you have everything. He said, one thing I don't have a teacher. He said, when you will be ready, my king, teacher will appear. He said, when? I said, I didn't say when. I said, when you will be ready. Did you hear me? I say, I'm very eager. God knows I will never be ready. He said, well, if you're never ready, he will never appear. He said, but is there something we can quicken the matter? He said, no, don't do it. Why not? He says, sometime teacher appears and you are not ready and you will be having trouble because teacher has to only appear once And for that one moment, time granted to you by your soul, by the God, is one wink of the eye. Within that you don't recognize, you are goofed. He said, if I recognize, he said, you have also the right to deny him. Accept, deny. That's your free will. That's not God's will. But God's will is, teacher will appear. It's very funny. One day, Grand Vizier and that king, that emperor, were walking together. And there was a beggar. He was begging money. And he looked at it and he said, hey, I'm not asking you to give me any money. That I know. You have it and you don't want to give it. But you stupid, you are walking wrong. Because they were walking like a cat paw. He was a king and he was a grand vizier. They don't want to be recognized. They were in a change clothes. And their walk was not their real walk. They were walking very consciously and catwalk. And he said, don't mess up your brain by walking this, you thieves. You are not real. And moreover, you have money and you don't give it to me. Get out of here. And king turned around and gave him money. He said, stupid, brainless man, I don't want your money. Take it away. He looked at the Grand Vizier. Grand Vizier looked at him. And he said, no, you should accept my money. He said, the man who doesn't know how to walk, I can't even accept him as my apprentice, as a beggar. You're talking of accepting your money? Where you come from? And the king, without looking at the Grand Vizier, bowed. And he said, Master, I have found you. And he said, stupid king, never walk like a cat. Walk like a lion. That's my only lesson. Now go away and don't spoil my business. And never see me again. King got up in great reverence, put his hand around the neck of the Grand Vizier and lingered on to his palace. Never came out of the palace for 40 days. When he came out, first thing he asked, Grand Vizier, how is my master? He said, I went right after leaving you here, he disappeared. He said, within my range of territory, find him. He said, Lord, it is the 40th day the research party is gone. We have no trace of it. How long he was there? He said, people say he was there for the last 20 years. A man lived in my city 20 years, and then after half an hour he disappeared, and you cannot find him. He said, I've been to astrologer. Even I have insulted myself by going to a psychics. And he said, I can't find it. He said, okay, we are going to find it. So he went to a teacher of his guru, which his father said when he was dying, my son, if there comes a spiritual entanglement and crossroad, I have a guru, you can go to him. So he went to him and he said, my father said, in my difficulty I should come to you. I have lost my teacher. He laughed. He said, stupid, you make me back 20 years. What you have lost? You have lost nothing. You don't have eyes. Take this kajal, that black thing with they put in eye, so you have a good eyesight. And when he put that, he learned. He only see at distance, he couldn't see near. And first time in his life, he saw near and distance both. His focal length changed with that thing. And he said, was it you, my master? He said, which side is your face? He said, it is to the south. He said, don't turn around, leave right now, and don't disturb my business. It was the second time he recognized again. And he moved and went on. This is the life of those who are drunk, dumb, and insensitive with Maya. Even them gods gave them the opportunity to find the opportunity. We are very fortunate. We should be in ecstasy. We are not even born, conceived. Our Guru is out and he doesn't walk away. And he doesn't say, get out of me. Never said it, never will say it. But one tragic part is, when you open it up, it's going to say the same thing again and again and again. And I mean, there's no steadfast Guru in the planet than this. I think Guru Gobind Singh knew how stupid his coming force humans will be. So he gave a permanent print and said, look, idiots, doesn't matter what you're going to do to it, but this is what is me, and this is me for the last time. Neither I'm going to move, nor I'm going to depend on you, nor I'm going to ask you food, nor I'm going to ask you water. If you honor me, it's your honor. If you dishonor me, it is your dishonor. If you leave me, you have left yourself. If you stick with me, you shall go across. That is what we say. Vaheguru naam jahaz hai, chade sutre par, jo sharda kar sevde, Guru par utaran har. That's exactly what it means. That is Vaheguru. Guru is the anchor. God is the grace. And man is the recipient. It is your destiny to receive that. It's my prayer. All of you have walked this distance of a quarter century today. You remember first Guru Gadi Day? You don't remember it. First Guru Gadi Day happened in Espanola, not with the pomp and show. We found out Japji. I remember it. We found out Japji, Nityanem Gutka, from somewhere. God knows somebody brought it. Otherwise, we used to burn fire and say Vaheguru, Vaheguru, and we didn't have one thing. We used to decorate the grounds with leaves and reeds, and we didn't have any seras or malas. We used to wear those green leaves and flowers to decorate the couples. Remember those? And finally, we found one gutka Nityanem. That's how Sikh history started. And we used to keep that and go around it 4 times and reading nothing, just saying Vaheguru, Satnam Vaheguru. And first Guru Gadi Day was celebrated in that house, which is where the coach used to stop. That was the only house bought, which you call it now ashram. And we went around this ashram, putting that Nityanem Gutka on our head. And we took 4 rounds. That's exactly how it happened. And it was the first time I came to Mexico, New Mexico. And we bought this house, and I came to celebrate here our opening of the ashram. And it was funny. And we got married to this ashram. In other words, we went 4 times around, keeping the gutka. And I do remember it was a Sundar gutka. And we didn't have clothes to cover it. So what we did is, first they put it in a kind of bag. I remember it is Chinese bag, and I came and I said, no, this is wrong. You have to cover it with clothes. And somebody took half of his turban. I'm an eyewitness to it. And they tear it up into different rumalas. And how many? I said, normally in 7, 5 will do. So we made 4 parts of it. And the 5th one was not available. So 5th one was somebody had a beautiful handkerchief. And that worked as a 5th. And that gutka was taken up on the head. And first Nagar Kirtan started. Now imagine that and imagine today. And that will open your eyes. And imagine from 1,000 years from today. And imagine thousands of years from today. You can very well understand how we have walked. And how we have understood. First time I was asked question, we used to chant Ek Onkar Satnam Sri Vaheguru, and a young man walked to me. He was first time a man I met who has 3-piece clothes and a basket on the small coat underneath, full 3-piece and tie and whole thing. And he has a handkerchief on his head. And I said, where did you learn to tie this way handker? He said, I went to India and I was at Golden Temple and I learned there. And he said, this mantra is not in this Nitnem. And I said, what is it? He said, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purukh Nirpau. I said, well, that is a mantra. That's a Ashtanga mantra. That's nothing to do with this is Mool mantra. And I explained to him, I found it out that man has studied at Golden Temple for 40 days Sikh Dharma, way earlier than me. So it's not that people don't know and people are not going to meet their destiny. Destiny, only our prayer today is that let our destiny not give distance and put us in the hand of the fate. That's all is the prayer. And that's why we say, Pale Bure Hum Tare, Prabhuji, Pale Bure Hum Tare, God, bad and good, we belong to thee. Please don't do this to us. That's all is our prayer. It's all there. And my technical feeling is, first time in the history of the man is free from the man. And we are grateful to the father of this nation, Guru Gobind Singh, who humbled himself before the Khalsa to become Guru again. And thanks to his that act, and thanks to his the greatest act, he freed us, gave us the sovereignty as a man to give us to the Shabad Guru, the Siri Guru Granth. That's what he did. And may that live forever. May all those who are virtuous, wise, and who has valor, may follow the path of life and reach their destiny. So the words of Nanak come true. Though it's a hard word, and a word of sweat, जिन्नी नाम ते आया गए मुसक्कत काल नानक तै मुकुजले केती छुट्टी नाल वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु
बनने की गत कही न जाए जे को कहे जय बजताए कागज कलम न लेखन हारे मन ने खा बेकरन विचार ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन हो जे को मन जाने मन को ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन हो जे को Suratove manabu Manne sagala bhavan ki su Manne mohe chota na gaye Manne jam ke saath na jaye Sa naam manaranjan hoy Je ko man janne man ko Vargat jai manne magna chale pan manne संबंध ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन होय जय को मान जाने मन को ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन होय जय को मान जाने मन को मने पाले मोक द्वार मने पारवारे सदहार मने तरे तारे गुसी मने नानक भवन बिक